Hello, Pace Pirates. This is Mrs. Hall, your friendly neighborhood English teacher. I'm here today to show you how to set up your papers using MLA, which I'll explain later, and how to put a heading on your papers. Okay, so first of all, if you're going to type something, you'll most likely use Pages. So you go into your Pages document, and teachers, pause this video, rewind it, do what you have to so that the students can follow along. Alright, first thing we need to do is set up a document. Go to Create Document, right here. Blank. Okay. Now before you start typing anything on here, it's very important that you format your paper. And when I say formatting your paper, I mean making sure it's double spaced, changing the size of the letters, which is your font size, etc. So we're going to do that first. And the reason we do it first is because if you don't, sometimes when you're working on your assignment, things start to act funny. You know how sometimes when you're working on a document, you get things that are a little glitchy? Well, that might happen. So, first thing you do, you go to where the paintbrush is, and we are going to double space this document, which means that the lines won't be really close together. There's actually going to be some space between each line. So see how if you hit the paintbrush it says Style, List, and Layout. Okay, you'll go to Layout because that's referring to how the page is laid out. And see where it says Line Spacing? Here it says 1. Well, we want to change it to 2. 2 meaning double spaced. So you just hit the arrows until you get to 2. Okay, easy enough? Alright. Alright. So now that we have it double spaced, we're going to go to Style. You want your font to be 12 point, which means it's going to be a little bit bigger on your page so that your teacher can read it clearly. We don't want it too small so that your teachers can't read it and you can't read it. So typically we do it 12 points. So you go here and see where it says Size. We're going to change it from 11 to 12. Now while we're in here, we're going to change the way the font looks. We're going to pick the font. And the standard font is Times New Roman. And the reason we're going to use that is because it's the easiest font to read. So see where it says Font here? You're going to click here. Scroll down until you get to the T's. See all these fonts you get to choose from? Some are fancy, some are not fancy. When it comes to assignments for school, taking notes, writing research papers, we're not going to be fancy. We're going to make it readable and clear. So Times New Roman, pick that font. Okay? Some of you might have this bar down here. You can do some of these things down here as well. But just recognize and know that you can use the paintbrush and the other features up here too. Okay, so now that we have that, you may be asking, why did she tell me to pick 12? Why did she tell me to double space? And why do we have to pick Times New Roman? Well, what we're doing is we're following a standard set forth by something called MLA. And MLA stands for Modern Language Association. And basically, it's just a book of rules for setting up papers and writing assignments. And I'll get more into that in a few minutes with some of the middle school and high school students. All right, so now we're going to do the heading. The heading is going to be on the left top side of your paper. So the first line should be your name. So let's go ahead and do that. My name is Kimberly Hall. Kimberly Hall. Okay? And you hit return. You only have to hit return once. See how there's space here? Because I set it up double spaced. So you don't ever hit return twice. You just hit return once if you have to. Second line, you write your teacher's name. I have a teacher. I'll pick Mrs. Tapley as my teacher. Mrs. Tapley. You, of course, would put the name of your teacher. All right, and then the next line you hit return, go to the next line. And we have the class. What class is this assignment for? Is it Spanish? Is it history? Is it chemistry? I'm an English teacher, so I'm just going to write English. I'll put English, and then those of you in high school, you use Roman numerals. So I'm going to put that. But whatever your class is, that's what you would put there. And then on the last line, you're going to put the date. The date's a little different sometimes in MLA, but for the sake of Pace Brantley's school, we are going to do it this way. So you are going to type out the month, as in spell it out. So we'll put August, and then the date. So I'll put the first day of school, pretend today's first day of school, and, whoops, the year. Okay? So your name, your teacher's name, class name, date. Your name, your teacher name, class name, date. All right, anyway. Okay, hit return. And then last but not least for your heading, well, this is your heading, but you want to put a title. What is this? What makes this assignment different from your other assignments? This, your teacher will tell you what to head your paper. She'll give you what to title your paper. She'll give you a title. So pretend you're in Ms. Hall's class and you are taking notes on Shakespeare, and Ms. Hall says the title of this assignment is Shakespeare Notes. Okay, we want to do something different here. We want to center this. So we want it to be in the center of the page. So it's all the way over here on the left. So instead of hitting the space bar or tabbing in a million times, we're going to do this the neat way. So go to the paintbrush, and right here, these are the different alignments here. We have left alignment. This one right here where it looks like all the lines are in the middle, this is centered. So you'll hit this and see how it's in the center. Whoop. Okay, and like I said, this is called Shakespeare Notes. Okay? All right, so that's how you set up a paper. If you're going to use a regular piece of notebook paper in your class and you're not typing, you would still do the same thing. You make sure that you put your name, your teacher's name, your class, and the date in the top left corner, and then in the center, after that, you put the title. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Middle school and high school, stay tuned for some more information. Elementary, have a great day. Bye. All right, so I want to show you one last thing. For middle school, it depends. You don't have to do this on all your assignments. Usually it's reserved for research papers and things like that, but you'll want to put your page numbers on. How do you put page numbers on this document? For your information, you go to the wrench and you hit Document Setup. All right, see where it says Tap to Edit Header? You tap there. And see over here where it's flashing, you want to make sure that it's flashing over here on the right, because the page numbers are going to be in the right top of your paper. All right, when you tap on there, this should pop up. Let me do this again. Hold down, see, put page numbers. All right, so just hit this 1. So hit 1, and then tap in front of the page number so your cursor's flashing right in front, and put your last name. My last name's Hall, and a space. A space is important, so there's a space between your name and the page number. Okay, and one last thing before we go, we need to make sure that it's the same font and the same font size as the rest of your document. So you're going to have to select it. So you tap, hold down, hit select all, go to your paintbrush, change it to Times New Roman. See where it says font, Times New Roman, go down, boom. Okay, and then when that's finished, you hit done, and see how my name and a page number's on there. If this were 2-3 pages long, it would say Hall 1 on the first page. It says Hall 2 on the second page, Hall 3 on the third page. Okay? High school students especially, when you are writing research papers or anything that requires you to use MLA formatting, you know, your teacher's a good resource, and she can or he can tell you how to do this. However, there's a really good website that tells you almost everything you need to know about formatting your paper, quoting your sources, setting up your works cited page. For those of you in science fair, you're going to have to make a reference page of some sort, a bibliography. And all those things you can find at the Purdue Online Writing Lab. It's called the Purdue OWL. And so if you have any questions, you can always go to that website, or if you just want more information. And it shows you all these things on the side. It shows you how to properly set up quotations, how to do works cited page, basic formatting, all those wonderful things. Okay? All right, I hope you found this video educational and enlightening, and I was happy to be here with you today. Have a lovely day.